Advice for Gardai. Well, I was a guard one time, and I suppose there's bits of advice you could give. A very complicated job to do it right. And some of them can never do it right. And the ones that can't do it right get promoted, and the ones that do, won't get promoted. They can't get a commissioner. What kind of a stooges are they? They can't pick a guard and train them and follow them on up and help their careers. No. Oh, he's not related to us. Oh, he's not. Oh, I don't think the father votes at all. Oh, he's no good to us. They're always looking for some angle, and promotions at high level are all to do with who you know and what you know, and they're full of crap, a lot of them anyway. But the ordinary guard's all right. I'm not knocking the ordinary guard. Ordinary guard does the best he can. I was one. I did the best I can, and most of the men with me did the best we could, as best we could. And when I was in the middle of them, they were never stuck for law or anything else. I could give the procedure upside down, and sometimes I'd do it right by the book. And the super and the state, no, the officers of the DPP would be criticising me, but I'd be right. But they just weren't. They thought they knew. I'd tell them, "You're not right. Yeah, you're wrong. There's the law there, it's there." It didn't like it. Anyway, the advice I'm going to give guards is not to do with that at all. It's if you're ever lined up to do duty abroad. Now, I'm not talking about going off with the United Nations to fight the Arabs or anything, or bring peace to the Middle East, which the Gardaí did a few times. I'm talking about going abroad to interview a prisoner, usually, or a person. What will often happen is two girls will say, "My Uncle Jimmy, he attacked me and he put his hands here and he put his hands there and he gave me sweets and I'm distressed and all the rest of it." The usual old thing. When that arrives on my plate, when that arrived in my office long ago, it was just another sex file and that was it. I never got involved in the ins and outs, but my job was to investigate it. But sometimes the lad would be in England, the boy that was suspect, or he could be in America or France. And he'd say, "I'm not going home, but if you want to come over and interview me, that's all right." And you don't have the same powers, but you still can go and interview him. And generally speaking, the police, I think there's some international agreement, the police will provide someone like a peace commissioner or maybe one of their own bobbies or a policewoman or something just to sit in. I don't know, they didn't record it in the ones I'm there. So you have to get your flights and you have to go over. We'll say it's to England, and you go to England, it could be Edinburgh in Scotland either, and you arrive and you have to make your appointment for your man. Now, what will happen you in most cases, the superintendents or the inspector will be the ones that will arrange your tickets. And they're as mean as you could get. They're counting every penny they have. All they're worried about what they're getting in their pay and will they get promoted and get a bigger pension. And they're full of this themselves. They think they have status. And a lot of them think they got promoted on merit. They're the most dangerous crowd of all. And if they got a guard or a sergeant off centre or making a mistake, they'd take him up and have him disciplined. And then when they got for promotion, they'd say, "Well, there's a Val Martin down there. Oh, yeah, he's very good. When I caught him doing something, what it was a stealing. They wouldn't catch me stealing anyway, because I wouldn't steal. But they might catch me sleeping somewhere. I was tired lying down having a bit of a kip somewhere. He was asleep above in that office one day and he was supposed to be somewhere else. Oh, you're a great fellow, we'll promote you." This is the thing you'd have to watch. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but sure, this is the thing with them. Now, they're not all like that, I have to say. Some of them are petty enough, but they'll try to make you go over, leave at 10 in the morning, leave at 6 in the morning, and be back tonight at 10. Interview your man and be back. They want it cheap. They're afraid of their life you'd incur overnight subsistence allowance, and you'd have to book into lodgings or to a hotel. And you'd get a night in a hotel, and if they went home and told the missus, Val Martin he'd gone over, he's getting a night to stay in the hotel, she'd ate the head of him. "Why haven't we gone over? We never get near a hotel. How is that?" And I knew a sergeant want him, and his wife wouldn't let him have near her. He wouldn't let him have any intimate relations with her, except he brought her to a hotel and booked in overnight. That's the only way he got near her at all. Now, that's the exception too, but that is true as God is me judge. So we'll say no more, but that was maybe an exception. But but amazing, like, the women. And anyway, enough said there. But he'll go home and tell her that Val's gone off and he's getting a free overnight stay, and she'll nag him the whole night why she didn't get it. So what he'll try to do is he'll try and stop you going over, except in the morning, come back at night. You say no. No, no, no. When you get on your flight, get an afternoon flight, arrive over at 6 o'clock. Generally speaking, the local bobbies will know you're coming, and they love the paddy. They're great. And you want to watch that. Another thing, if they go drinking, you don't want a big head the next day. Watch that very tight. Take your pint of beer and say, that's it, folks, I'll see you in the morning. Because some of the English bobbies drink like fish. Fish. I don't know about the women, but the men drink like fish. I brought over a fellow extradited one time, and they wanted me to go drinking before I headed on the plane. I said, sure, this fella might cut or bruff or something. So I had a drink with them, but not much, I'm not big into that type of drinking anyway. But anyway, you arrive over, they'll probably meet you. They usually meet you in a police car, and bring it to whatever hotel it is, and book in and get your bit of meal and get a night's sleep. Do not leave at 6 in the morning and arrive in at 10:30 or whatever, to 9:30, I suppose, and then go to meet your man at 10 o'clock and start interviewing him. Because the chances are he'll prove belligerent. He'll talk to you. You have no right to hold him there, but they usually won't walk off. They'll usually sit talking to you. Now, Johnny, I have to say this to you. I'm from Cavan. I know it well and all the rest. I'm related to so am I. And you have a separated wife there, yeah. And she has 2 children, and you stayed there, and she's a legend. You've done this and you've done that. And what do you say? And he'll blow a fuse for a while, and then he'll go, I just want to ask you, and you have to do it properly. Any policeman worth the salt knows exactly how to tackle that. It's all in a booklet supplied by the guards, the criminal investigation techniques. And if any guard is watching this and you don't have the criminal investigation techniques and you don't know what's in it, you shouldn't be in the job. You're only an idiot, because that's the manual to tell you how to do it. And I'm sure it's upgraded by now. Quite a good book. But nobody reads it. I read it. I always went by the book. So anyway, you get your overnight the night before, and you could be with him till 11 o'clock and get your next overnight the next day. Make 3 days out of it. And it happened to me and another chap. And we went over to London, and by God, anyway, we met your man at 11:30, and he was still going strong at 8 o'clock at night. And you're supposed to get a meal and give him a meal. He was still going on. And there was progress being made, but it was necessary to go over everything and check it. And sometimes ring back and maybe check with the woman at home or the child at home. Just get the guard to go. This fella says he was with you in Blackrock, County Louth in 2018. That just went up. And you went up, and he paid for you and all that. And you might have to go back and get that inquired. The news will come back from a guard who'll have to make a statement. Well, yeah, she says we did go. So he's telling the truth there. Now, there you are. He'll tell you, I told you I did, and I was right. This is all a lie. So then you have to put him through the whole thing. She says you're in such a place, and she was waiting on you, or you brought her from school or whatever, and you went into the park, and you put her up on the tree, and then you started touching her. And then you have to go on. Then I didn't do that, and then he might say, I never brought her home on her own. There was always another person, maybe, or another girl with her, because I was always careful of them people. They're inclined to do that anyway and make false allegations. I was always a bit careful, but there was never on my own. So then you have to ring back again, and you have to get the guards in wherever it is. Well, it'd be somewhere where there'd be a lot of sex going on. Middle Dublin, Sheriff's Street. You'd want galvanised knickers on you going up there. But anyway, the thing about it is, I'm only joking. I'm only joking for the lefties on here that vote for them allegiance and Greens. People before puberty. But that's what you have. But anyway, I withdraw that. Anyway, you ring back and get on. This man says he never brought you on his own. Mary Ellen Rayleigh was always with you. She's a neighbour up the road. Is that true or is that not? Oh, Oh, well, I think they did. Now, did you? And you have to have a good guard to go out, or a policewoman either, a female guard, and ask now, tell us the truth. This man has been interviewed in London by our people, and we want to know exactly what happened. And that's what goes on. So if you're time limited, and you have to catch a plane at 9:30 at night, you're banjaxed. So my advice to guards, if you're to go abroad, maybe the superintendent you have or inspector might be a gentleman, might be very fair, but not too many good superintendents ever get to be superintendents, because the minute they notice you're a decent type of fella, they'll put you in the doghouse. Into the doghouse you'll go. You have to be able to bluff them and tell them a heap of lies that all you're going to do. And they'll come out. I heard one chief superintendent one time, I had me tea with him, just happened to have tea with him. He was talking about this great fella. Oh, he's a great bit of stuff. He's a great bit of stuff. He bluffed him up to the two eyes. Your man eventually had to leave the job. He was that big of a disaster. A disaster he was when he got promoted. So they're kind of idiots. But the point about it is, anyway, you get your 3 days, go to England, and have your ticket done in such a way that if there's an extended day, you can go in a hotel. And do not do it, go into some old landlady, like happened to me one time, and she give you chips with a raw egg on it. Go into a proper hotel. A proper hotel, not necessarily. What's the big ones in London? Is it the Ritz? Is it? I don't know. I was stupid enough to go on a 1-day trip, and I never got any hotel. And we could have had a few pints that night when things was unravelling and talked about the case, and maybe with the bobbies or something. Yeah, we could have had a bit of fun. Like, contrast that. I went over one time shooting, clay pigeon shooting, against the Merseyside police, and there was we won the team here. The Garda had a team, and we went over to shoot against them. And after the shooting it was good shooting. They were good enough. I think we beat them by a couple of birds. But the point is, it was a racket of drinking and good food. And they had they were shooting out at the Red Rose Rifle Club in Southhold. This is near Liverpool anyway. And I know we had a good time, but there was a lot of drinking. A lot of drinking. And people tried to tell me, you must hate the British police. My God, and they'd come over here then and have a bit of a bang with us and all that. But I loved the sport. It wasn't for the drinking, but you couldn't avoid it. Like, that was it. So do not be rushed. If the case requires you to go over, there's an obligation on the commissioner to investigate the crime, and you do it right, and don't sell yourself short. Make sure you get the full whack, get your nights. It'll take 1 full day with PAL, and do not travel and interview on the same day. Do not do it. The time of the day is not enough, and you need to get yourself a nice evening meal there and all, and get your receipts, and then you can claim all that back. But not all the yards are like that. But I can tell you, in my experience, men showerhoors, oh Jesus, they'd be counting the pennies, and oh Lord, where they got a penny. And that's why the government does inflation, to keep eating away at their savings. when the savings is 20 years old, it wouldn't buy a quarter of what it bought 20 years ago. So anyway, that's my advice to guards. It's a bit strange of advice. Oh, I learned the hard way. If it's worth going, you get treated properly by An Garda Síochána, whether they like it or whether they don't. And if they don't want to do it, say, send somebody else. I can't do it on that job, and you can't do a good job. And if you have to get the union on, well, sure, fair enough. And there's the thing about the Garda unions when I'm on about it. Do you know the headman of the Garda unions and the sergeant units gets a chief superintendent's pay and pension? I can't understand why somebody who's a member of the trade union shouldn't stay the rank and the pay grade he's on and get whatever extras there are. That's what they get. So if you're in the Guards and you get into the unions, you're on a meal ticket for life in many cases. Anyway, that's my story. Did you enjoy that? Comment underneath. Any Guards there, comment, or any ex-Guards. Oh, you wouldn't want to let them away with anything. There'd be a tug-of-war over overtime and what you got, and they'd be writing about why you didn't come home earlier, when you'd be getting sub-allowance. And the super had to keep a watch on spending. Some of the Guards would they'd claim the whole thing. They'd claim 5 million. If they could get 1 million in a week, they'd take it. Hungry hooers, a lot of them, some of them. But they're a microcosm of Irish society. I know the Irish people well. I'm buying cattle off them. Some of them are the very best. And it's very surprising. The decentness can be the simplest. It's a bit like the Bible, the Blessed Virgin. She always appeared to simple people. She was bloody right, because she couldn't stick to the crowd. She couldn't stick them. Oh, there's some horrid, mean Irish people, and there's some decent Irish people. I know that a lot of my followers are very, very, very decent. We have a couple of lefties. And really, socialism is meanness, because the idea of socialism, you get something for nothing. That's why they're socialist. So it's mean. Mean. Oh, God. And what will they do with it? And they die and they leave it after them. And some of them won't even make a will. Some of them won't even settle their affairs. Looking to see, would the Guard get a little rise? We might get a rise as well on the pension. The pension will keep you. It's not a lot. And I know I have a farm. Maybe it's easy to talk. I will concede that. Anyway, rightly or wrongly, that's my tuppence halfpenny worth. If you're going over to England or the United States, it's not a trip, it's not a holiday, it's work. It's work. And you have to get your allowances over there. And you get good accommodation. You get proper flights. If they want to cut you down a bit with Ryanair on the budget, put you in the back seat, well, that's all right. But put up your battle. And it could be a clerk just deciding it for you. I'm giving you your advice. Do not let them make a cod of you. Aegis that never investigated anything in offices and everything else turn around and tell you, oh, you'll be back tonight. Huh. Don't fall for that one. Good luck, folks. See you back.